Under the co-chairship of United States and Russia, the Fifth International Syrian Support Group, or ISSG, ministerial meeting is being held in Vienna to discuss the enhancement of nationwide cessation of hostilities in the war-ravaged Syria. Speaking to reporters ahead of the talks, German Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier said a certain calming of combat actions had been achieved in Syria since the last ISSG meeting held in February in the German city of Munich.
We have seen a certain calming of combat actions in many parts of Syria in the past 3 months. We have seen that relief supplies have become possible in many areas where people were completely cut off from supplies. However, not all in need of humanitarian aid have been reached, especially in the area of Aleppo, where the fighting has increased in intensity recently.
China's envoy to the talks, Xie Xiaoyan, told reporters before the meetings that the talks were quite important but faced difficulties.
I think all the parties should move in the same direction. Realize the goal of the true ceasefire and more openness in the humanitarian access. No matter how difficult the situation is, we should not lose our confidence. We should also have patience.
In a press conference after the talks, Lavrov seems to disagree with U.S. John Kerry's idea of there is no end of war without a political solution, saying there is no excuse of combating with terrorists in the region. The Russian foreign minister said some people should not expect the fall of al-Assad government before combating with terrorist groups in the region. The fall of al-Assad could not lead to the collapse of terrorism in Syria. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said al-Assad government and his supporters could not end the war without a political solution, saying U.S. always has leverage to resolve the issue. UN envoy Staffan de Mistura told a news conference there was still a strong desire to keep the peace process moving. The main opposition High Negotiations Committee said it was not willing to return to negotiations without a full ceasefire and access for humanitarian aid.